Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda was born on June 19, 1861, Wednesday at Calamba, Laguna Province. The seventh child of Don Francisco Mercado and Doña Chodora Alonso Realonda. Rizal had 10 siblings: Saturnina, Pasiano, Narcisa, Olympia, Lucia, Maria, Concepcion, Josefa, Trinidad, and the youngest is Soledad. At the age of 8, he wrote his first poem entitled Sa Aking Mga Kabata, in which written in the native language. The first teacher of Pepe was his mother Doña Chodora, Maestro Celestino his first private tutor, and Maestro Lucas Padua his science tutor. Pepe was always received excellent grades due to his amazing intelligence and perseverance. It was Doña Chodora who first discovered the poetic genius of her son, and she's the first to encourage him to write poems. However, it was Father Sanchez who inspired Rizal to take full of his God-given gift in poetry. Mi primera inspiración, or my first inspiration. In 1874, he probably wrote during his days in Ateneo, which was dedicated to his mother on her birthday when he was 14 years old. March 23, 1877, Commencement Day, Rizal, who was 15 years old, received from his alma mater the degree of Bachelor of Arts with highest honor. During his first term in UST, he also studied at Ateneo. He enrolled the preparatory medical course and the regular first-year course. The reason why he chose medicine for a career was to be able to cure his mother's growing blindness. His grades in UST College of Medicine were not as impressive as what he got at Ateneo Philosophy and Letters. Rizal found the atmosphere at the UST suffocating to his sensitive spirit. He was unhappy at this Dominican institution of higher learning because the Dominican professors were hostile to him. The Filipino students were racially discriminated by the Spaniard. The method of instruction was obsolete and repressive.
Dr. Jose Rizal left the country in May 1882 to pursue further studies abroad. He enrolled in a course in medicine at the Universidad Central de Madrid in Spain. June 1883, he traveled to France to observe how medicine was being practiced there. After his 3 months stay in France, Rizal returned to Madrid and thought about publishing a book that exposed the colonial relationship of Spain in the Philippines. No Limit Hungary, his first novel, was published in March 1887 in Germany. Rizal was actively involved in the propaganda movement composed of Filipinos in Spain. He wrote articles for publication in Manila and abroad. Rizal returned to Manila in August 1887 after 5 years in Europe. His homecoming was met by the friars' force over No Limit Hungary. The Archbishop of Manila issued an order banning the possession and reading of the novel, an order that was later enforced by the government general. 6 months later, he left Manila to Hong Kong to avoid further persecution. This is her second travel and abroad. From Hong Kong, Rizal traveled to Macau and Japan before going to America. He entering San Francisco, California in April 1882. Rizal also visited the states of Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Illinois, and New York. Rizal arrived in England in May 1888. August 1888, he was admitted to the British Museum, where he copied Antonio de Morga's massive study of the Philippines, the Sucesos de las Islas Filipinas. means as a gift to the Filipinos. In March 1891, Rizal finished writing his second novel, El Filibusterismo, in France. He planned to publish the book in Belgium but was financially hard up. In September 1890, the second novel, El Filibusterismo, was published in
God.
using donation from Rizal friends. Rizal decided to leave Europe because of the rivalry between Del Valle, so he decided to leave Europe to avoid the worsening rift between Rizalistas and Pilaristas and help maintain unity among Filipino expatriates. After staying for some time in Hong Kong, where he practiced medicine and planned to build a new Calamba, Rizal came home to the Philippines in June 1892.
The Woman of Jose Rizal. Julia, a girl in the Pagsanjan River who used to catch the butterfly. Segunda Katigbak. She was described by Rizal as gay, talkative, witty, virginal, attractive, alluring. At 16, Rizal fell in love with his first romance. Margarita Almeida Gomez, or Miss L, a young lady from Paqui, Laguna. She was described by Rizal as with fair complexion, seductive, and with attractive eyes. Leonor Valenzuela, also known as Orang, the daughter of Capitan Juan and Capitana Sanday Valenzuela of Pansanjan, Laguna. Vicenta Ibardosa, a pretty colegial. She was also from Paqui, Laguna, who was high school at that time. Rizal got infatuated to her when she played a harp. Leonor Rivera Taimes, a lady from Camiling, Tarlac, a daughter of Antonio Rivera or Rizal's uncle, and Silvestre Bausun. Consuelo Ortega y Rey, a pretty Manileña. She was a daughter of Don Pablo Ortega y Rey, a former civil governor of Manila under the administration of Carlo Ma de la Torre. Seiko Osui, also known as Osei-san, a Japanese samurai's daughter, taught Rizal the Japanese art of painting known as sume. Gertrude Beckett Getty, an English girl with brown hair, blue eyes, and pink cheeks. Suzanne Jacobi, a pretty girl in Brussels, Belgium. She was pretty niece of Rizal's landlady. Nellie Boston. She was a daughter of Eduardo Boston. They met when Rizal was a guest in the Boston family. Pastora Necesario, Totak. She was a weaver of cloth at the Pitan. As a sign of love, Rizal gave her a statue of a woman and also sent her letters of love and concern. Josephine Bracken, an unhappy wife. She was the adopted daughter of George Taufer from Hong Kong, who came to the Pitan to seek Rizal for eye treatment. They lived happily as common-law husband and wife. Their extremely happy marriage had begotten an 8-month-old premature baby boy who lived only for 3 hours. Their son was named Francisco in honor of Don Francisco. He spent his last 24 hours in his death cell, where he received members of his family and writes his letter of farewell, the first one to his second brother, Ferdinand Blumentritt. He gave his sister Trinidad an old petroleum lamp and whispered to her in English that there is something inside the lamp. Thus, Rizal's famous farewell poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, or Last Farewell, was found. you.